Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to do a hands-on with Json library. So we have learned so much about Json library so far. So now it's time to do some hands-on so that we have clarity. So as you can see on my screen, I have opened my IntelliJ IDE. Before starting coding, I would like to show you some settings on my IntelliJ IDEA. As you can see on my screen, I have created one Maven project which name is Jackson Demos, and you can see here I have also pom.xml file. In that pom.xml file, I have included few dependencies. You can see I have used Jackson core, Jackson data bind, and Jackson annotations. These three annotations are mandatory to get started with Jackson. And also, if you are not familiar with the Maven properties in pom.xml, so at line number 14, I have created Jackson.version customized property, and I have mentioned 2.19.2. So basically, this is the version of Jackson which I am using in my tutorial. And above that, you can see I have been using Java 17 also. So sometime compatibility is the issue. So just for the learning purpose, I would recommend to go with the Java 17 and Jackson version 2.19.2. And also you see I have not directly mentioned the versions in either group ID, rather I have mentioned the properties name. So these are the some Maven things you should know. Also in the right side, you can see in the external libraries, Jackson annotations, core and Jackson data bind is available in my class path. Okay, let's discuss about the folder structure. I have created a package called Json, and inside that I have created two packages. One is called Pojo and another one is the Serialization. As you know, in this video we are going to focus on about serialization and deserialization. So we need one Pojo class. You can see this is an simple employee class which has three fields, and it has default constructor, overloaded constructor, and some setters and getters. Coming back to the test serialization class, in this I have provided one main class to execute my code, and in this we are going to see about four use cases. Use case 1 and use case 2 is straightforward, serialization and deserialization. So here in use case 1, we will try to serialize Java object into JSON file, and the use case 2, we will deserialize Java object back from JSON file. In use case 3 and 4, we are going to convert Java object into JSON format and vice versa. So sometime we don't need to send our JSON data into any other file or any other network, but for our internal use, we need to do conversion. So what happens that, let's suppose you have written a Spring Boot application and you have built one REST API and you want to send back a response into a JSON format. So you don't need to do serialization and deserialization. You just need to convert your Java object into JSON format and return the response. And let's suppose if you have written your API and client is sending a JSON format data and you want to convert it into your Java object, so that kind of conversion covers use case 4. Let's start beginning with use case 1. We want to serialize our Java object into JSON file. So for this case, we need our object first, employee object. Let's give any name. Let's suppose Tom, department HR, and age is 29. So let's create the object mapper. Now use object mapper to do serialization. So for serialization, we have a write value method. So if you see, whenever I type write value, so my IDE is suggesting some overloaded methods. So you can see write value having two parameters. One is the file, another is the object. And similarly, we have other overloaded one. So we are going to focus on the file one because we want to write our data into a file. And below, if you come here, so you have seen like write value as string, write value as bytes. It is explicitly saying that we are writing our data into string, so no need any second parameter like file or writer or data output. This is very obvious. And similarly for write value as bytes, so we will get the output as a bytes. We are not storing any data to any file or any network. So for now, just focus on the file one. So let's suppose write value, and I will provide new file in which I will give the name of the file Json and our data, and we will see if the employee.json file is not available, it will create automatically and write our data into this employee.json file. The next use case is we are getting back our Java object from a JSON file. So from the same employee.json file, we are trying to get back our Java object. So obviously our main goal is to get the Java object. So I'm creating another variable. Here I'm using the same object mapper. Now this time I will read the value. So similarly, for reading the value, you can see we have many overloaded method for different purposes. So but we are dealing with the file, so I will choose this one, file source. So where is my file source? So let's create a file source and give the same name like above we have given. And what is our expected data? So our expected data is employee. Give the class name. So this is the part of deserialization. Just to check what we received, I'm just printing out. Now we don't need to send our data to any file or network. We just want any internal conversion inside our application only. Let's take the example of the same employee object as a Java object, and we will convert into a JSON format data. So how to do that? So obviously the return type is going to be a string, and I'm going to give a variable name, and I will use same object mapper dot write. So here we are not writing values to any data output file. I'm just writing value as a string. And what is our source data? Employee. And I will also try to print to see what we get in return. So coming back to our use case 4, we are just converting JSON data into Java object. Once our target is Java object, obviously it's going to be stored somewhere. So I'm just giving employee 2 and using the same object mapper dot read value. From employee, and what is the expected class, and just to see what we received, I'm just printing. So we covered 4 use cases. First one is serialization, another is the deserialization, getting back from the file. Another last 2, 3 and 4 points are conversion. Now let's run the code and see the output. Here in use case 1, the object was successfully serialized. That's why we can see here the output from the line number 22, which is the result of deserialization. Again, we try to convert Java object into JSON format. So this is the JSON format data. As you know, JSON data always comes in tokens, key value pair. Now we try to convert the same JSON data into object. So here you can see our object is back from JSON data. So whatever we learn here, let's summarize through a diagram. So in this video, we learned how to do serialization, how to do deserialization, and how to do conversion between Java object and JSON. If you find this video helpful, then like this video and subscribe the channel. See you in the next video.